we will study about atom, symbol, atomic mass, molecule, ion, and chemical formula. An introduction to atoms.
Everything around us is made up of tiny particles called atoms. Atoms are the building blocks of matter. Let us study about the atoms in detail.
Atom.
An atom is the smallest particle of an element that takes part in a chemical reaction. It is extremely small in size and cannot be seen even under the most powerful optical microscope. Hydrogen atom is the smallest atom. Let us study more about atom with the help of the following animation.
Atoms. Do you know what is the building block of an anthill? The building block of an anthill is a small grain of sand. Look at a sheet of paper. You will be surprised to know that a small piece of paper may contain millions of atoms. From these two examples, it is clear that atoms are the building blocks of all matter. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that takes part in a chemical reaction. In this table, you can observe the relative sizes of various atoms. This data clearly explains that a hydrogen atom is the smallest atom. The atoms of the same element or different elements can join together to form molecules, which in turn form the objects around us. Though atoms are insignificant in size, they constantly affect us in whatever we do. We may not be able to see them, but they exist everywhere. Therefore, in order to understand the nature of matter around us, we need to learn about atoms.
Symbol. Atomic mass.
Symbol is a thing that represents or stands for something else, like a sketch or letter. The upcoming animation will throw more light about symbols of elements.
Look at these symbols. What information do we get when we see them? Well, the first symbol represents the passage on the road for pedestrians to move, commonly known as zebra crossing, while the other alarms the moving traffic to slow down for the safety of school-going children. In the same way, we use specific types of symbols for identifying the different chemical elements. These symbols help in overcoming the language barrier across the globe and make the study more refined and easier. Let us discuss modern-day symbols of elements. Symbols of an element is a short form that represents the atom of a specific element. Two types of symbols are known to us, that is, Dalton symbols of element and modern symbols of elements. English chemist John Dalton was the first scientist who started using symbols to represent the atoms of different elements. These symbols were pictorial in nature. He used 36 different symbols for different elements. However, Dalton's symbols of elements were difficult to draw and inconvenient to use. A few years later, Dalton's symbols became outdated and were replaced by those suggested by Swedish chemist Johann Berzelius. He used alphabets from the names of the elements to represent their symbols on the basis of certain rules. Let us understand the rules for writing the symbols of the elements. For some common elements, the first letter of their English name, written in capital, is used as their symbol. Look at these pairs of elements now. They have same initial letter. Therefore, to avoid confusion, Bacillus used first and second letters of their English name to represent their symbol. The first letter of a symbol is always written in capital letter, and the second letter in small letter. However, if the first two letters of the element's name are same as that of another element, then the symbol consists of the first letter and the first consonant of the English name that they do not have in common. Symbols of some elements are based on their Latin name or German name or Greek name. Symbols of an element represents name of an element, one atom of an element, one mole of atoms of an element. 6.022 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 23 atoms of an element. For example, symbol of oxygen is O. It represents name of the element is oxygen. One atom of oxygen, one mole of atoms of oxygen. 6.022 multiplied by 10 raised to the power 23 atoms of oxygen. Symbols of elements help in representing complex chemical reactions in simpler way.
Elements.
The following table gives the modern symbols of elements.
From the given options, choose the symbol of a metal element that is used for making food packaging foils. The correct answer is option A. The Latin name of an element is calcium. Can you guess the English name of this element? And your options are option A, iron, option B, potassium, option C, sodium. The correct answer is option B, potassium.
Atomic mass.
The atomic mass of an element gives us the mass of one atom of that element in atomic mass units. One atomic mass unit is a mass unit equal to exactly 1/12 the mass of one atom of carbon-12.
In the 19th century, scientists adopted the comparative method to find the atomic mass. Initially, 1/16 of the mass of an atom of naturally occurring oxygen was taken as one unit because of the following reasons. Oxygen reacted with a large number of elements and formed compounds. This unit gave the masses of most of the elements as the whole numbers. In 1961, IUPAC accepted the use of an isotope of carbon with the mass number 12 as the standard for measuring the atomic masses. It is called C12. 1/12 of the mass of an atom of the C12 isotope represents 1 unit of mass and is called 1 atomic mass unit, represented by U. The following table gives the atomic mass of some common elements. Here are atomic masses of some more elements. How does an atom exist? It exists either in the form of a molecule or an ion. Molecule.
A molecule is an electrically neutral group of two or more atoms chemically bonded together. It is the smallest particle of a substance which has the properties of that substance and can exist in a free state. Following animation will give detailed explanation about molecules. Let us discuss about molecules. If we look closely around us, we will find that everything around us is made of molecules. For example, the air we breathe contains molecules of oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide, etc. Do you know? Water we drink contains water molecules. Let's find how these molecules are made. Well, molecules are made from a group of two or more atoms chemically bonded together. A molecule is electrically neutral. It is the smallest particle of a substance, which shows all the properties of that substance, and yes, it can exist in a free state. Molecules are of two types: molecules of an element and molecules of a compound. Molecules of an element are different from molecules of a compound. When atoms of the same element join together, we get a molecule of that element. For example, hydrogen molecule is made of hydrogen atoms only. Similarly, ozone molecule is made of oxygen atoms. Chlorine atoms constitute molecule of chlorine. The number of atoms present in one molecule of a substance is known as its atomicity. Therefore, depending upon the atomicity, molecule of an element can be called monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic, and polyatomic. Monoatomic molecule of an element contains only one atom of the same element. Diatomic molecule of an element contains two atoms of the same element. Triatomic molecule of an element contains three atoms of the same element. Tetraatomic molecule of an element contains four atoms of the same element. Polyatomic molecule of an element contains more than four atoms of the same element. Molecules of same elements such as carbon are very big in size and contain a large number of atoms linked together. Buckminster fullerene is an extremely stable ball-shaped carbon molecule. It contains about 60 carbon atoms linked together and is represented as C60. Now, let's know about molecules of a compound. Do you know how a compound is formed? When two or more atoms of different elements chemically combine together in a definite proportion by mass, they form a compound. This means that compounds always exist as molecules, not as separate atoms. For example, hydrogen and oxygen are different elements. When they react together, they form water, and water is a compound. Depending upon the atomicity, molecules of a compound can be called diatomic, triatomic, tetraatomic, and polyatomic. Diatomic molecules contain two atoms. Triatomic molecules contains three atoms. Tetraatomic molecules contain 4 atoms. Polyatomic molecules contain more than 4 atoms. Molecules are building blocks of various substances around us. The following animation will